Hello there, I am that nollid. I am British.
Are you sure? You don't look very British.
I think you'll find that I have passed Norman Tebbett's cricket test on many occasions. I am the son of immigrants from the Indian subcontinent who came here in the 60s to fill the vast labour shortages that were occurring at the time. Now, my reason for making this short video is to point out how migration has occurred from Europe into the New World over the last 200-300 years. Now, if you have a look at this map of the world, you will see that the North American continent is predominantly English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, French and Spanish origin. 500 million people of European origin live in North America. Along South America, you've got the Spanish, Portuguese, the French and other Europeans. Around 400 million people of European origin live in the Southern Americas. Over in Southern Africa, you've got the English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, Dutch and other Europeans that have colonised over there over the last 200-300 years. Over in Siberia, you've got the Russians that colonised that continent. Over in Australasia, you have the British, the French and other Europeans that have predominantly colonised Australia, New Zealand and Polynesia. And we need to understand why they did that. Not only was it because Europe was technologically far superior to the natives that were wiped out in the last few hundred years in those continents, but also people went there in search of better life. They wanted better life for themselves and for their families. They were economic migrants. The same people from Africa and Asia that want to come into Europe today are economic migrants. As soon as we can understand that in Europe today and over the next few years, millions of people will continue to come from Africa and from Asia into Europe. Europe is overcrowded, but Europe is the focal point, even more so than America in terms of migration, because Europe is the centre of civilization, of the world, and of economic power. Now, until we root out corruption in Africa and in Asia, until we make trade fairer and pay people a fair wage in those countries, we will never root out economic migration. It will be an issue nearly as big as climate change, and it's an issue that affects native Europeans today. They feel they're being overcome, they feel they're being swamped, they feel that they're being overrun by a foreign, an alien culture. But we need to understand that Europeans, their relatives, their friends, their forefathers, their great-great-grandfathers and granduncles have emigrated from Europe, and that they're doing so today in the same way that millions of Europeans and Africans and Asians are coming into Europe today. And we need to acknowledge that migration is something that's happened from Europe into the New World in the same way that's happening into Europe from Africa and Asia.